I do like the art.
I just don't really agree with you.
Yeah, I don't either. And I don't understand.
We'll go.
That's the one I didn't know about.
Oh, for water deposits for security refunds?
Oh, is that what that is? Oh.
It's to pay the fine
Ooh,
of
okay, I
other
get it.
patrons.
Yeah.
So we take their deposit and pay the final water bill and then pay the patron the remaining.
Good evening, if we could stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move on to number 3. If you've had time to take a look at the agenda, I need a motion to approve the agenda, or do we have any changes on it?
Beings Harley and Tanya are here. If it would be possible to move the public hearing for CDBG right after number 5.
So moving number 8 to above number 6.
That is correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda, moving number 8, the CDBG wastewater treatment facility project to below number 5.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has passed. We'll move on to number 4, alderman interviews if needed. We have anyone here for Ward 1? Juliet? Okay. With that being said, we'll have to enter into executive session to interview her, so I need a motion for 4A.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2, parentheses 1, personnel.
I'll second it.
All in favor, or any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has passed. 6:02 p.m. We are in.
Well, hello, sir.
Oh my
Good evening.
goodness.
How are you?
Good, I'm not Austin Phelps, for those of you that don't know.
I still have your other name too. I'm sorry, I should have swapped it out.
Well, that's okay, then pretend I'm Austin, that way if I get
Oh.
All right, we are out of executive session at 6:14 p.m. And we will move on to 4B. So, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to appoint Julia Sundstrom, Ward 1 alderman, until next election.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has passed. So at this point, we can do the oath of office. Julia, if you would like to be seated tonight.
Whatever works best for you guys.
We can do that. So, if you'd like to,
Either one. Either
yeah,
place.
I can go over there. Go ahead. Put your right arm up. I, Julia Sundstrom,
I, Julia Sundstrom,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of in the state of South Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the alderman
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the alderman
and in for Ward 1-year term
and forward 1-year term
for the city of Alcester,
for the city of Alcester,
Union County, South Dakota,
Union County, South Dakota,
to which office, to which office
To which office?
I have duly elected.
I have duly elected.
Perfect. So if I can just get your signature right here on top. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to number 5, wastewater treatment facility improvements with Tanya.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
For you tonight is change order number 1 for the wastewater treatment facility improvements. So as that project is going on, we encounter things that are unforeseen or were not included with the plans, or things that were included with the plans that are not found to be not needed. And so that results in prices either going up or down slightly on items. And so once we get a number of those together, or we've got a deadline coming up, we put those together in this change order like this one before you tonight, to adjust the price of the contract. So I just want to go through it with you. And the only thing that changed from the one you got in your council packets is on the very top of the second page, there's a place for you either mark increase or decrease, and you strike through by line. And so when we initially started to put this together, it was a decrease. When we updated, it became a slight increase, and so we missed that strike through. And so I just wanted to correct that in the one that was signed and went to the DNR. So that's the only one thing that changed from what out in your council packets. But, and now I just want to go through briefly those 5 items so the council can understand what they were and why the change is being made. So we have a deduct in there for pressure gauges of about $2,400, and that was because we had 2 spec sections that both had the pressure gauges listed. And we are frequently seeking ways to try to save money for the city on this project if we can, to try to make the best use of fiscal dollars for the city. And so when we noticed it was listed twice, we contacted the contractor, because both suppliers had submitted on it, and got a deduct for the one, so that it would not need to be paid for. The other thing is, when we were installing the stormwater, there was force main that was found to be located closer to the pipe in the field than originally anticipated. And so that had to be insulated, because even though it's buried, when you've got an open stormwater pipe close to that force main, you can get freezing. There's not enough ground cover separating the two, and so that insulation was needed. So that increased the price $2,700. The other thing that was found is when they were installing that stormwater, there's 2 gate valves on the effluent wastewater line that were called to be replaced because the city staff thought they did not function. Once we got them unburied, it was determined that there was so much sand in the valve boxes that had fallen down that that's why they were unoperational. So once the sand was removed and they operated just fine, and so don't need to be replaced. So that saved the city about $8,700. The one thing that has come up that is resulting in the most significant cost increase is that there's the waste line that conveys the sludge out to the ponds. That line is in conflict with the bottom elevation of the loading dock that's going to be installed. We had hoped it was going to be further underneath or not in the way, and we confirmed that there is a conflict. So we need to relocate that west line, basically just remove the existing piping and kind of shift it a little bit around further to the east. And so that is resulting in an increase of about $12,000. And then the last item is a deduct for a roof access hatch. We had inadvertently left an access hatch in one of our specifications. It's not needed for this project, and so that's a deduct of $2,025. And so when you total that all up, the grand total of the additional cost for these 5 items is $2,403.69. So considering everything that's being changed, that's a pretty modest increase. And so the reason we brought this before you when the dollar number was a little bit lower is because we wanted to get council approval on that Wesley relocation. The contractor may start work on that as soon as next week, and we'd like to make sure council approves things before they start work on that. So, any questions at all on any of those items?
I'm sorry, what was the cost increase?
$2,403.69.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Tanya? I think everyone understands it fairly good, I think.
I'll make a motion to approve change order number 1 and modify contract price from $5,338,000 to $5,340,406.69.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you. And if I could take the signed contract back with, or the signed agreement, then I'll
Yep.
just get it right to the contract.
Are things kind of going as scheduled?
Yeah, things are going well.
Okay.
Contractors working hard, making effort. The aeration basin, the concrete is almost complete, if not, they might have, I think we've got the final call for it this week. And they are continuing to move on site piping and getting that going. So no, I'm very pleased with the progress they're making. And right now, if they keep up the pace, they should have no problem getting the completion date.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to CDBG wastewater treatment facility project, public hearing.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Harley Ferguson. I work for the Southeastern Council of Governments. And the reason for the public progress hearing or meeting today is to get the public's input on any problems that they're having with the wastewater treatment facility project that's going on. So the City of Alcester applied for the Governor's Office of Economic Development for a community development block grant to assist with funding for the wastewater treatment facility improvements project. The total cost of the project was $6,149,000. A community development block grant was secured January 29th of 2023 for $770,000 for construction and administrative costs. The balance of funding for the project consists of $3,710,000 for clean water state revolving fund loans through DANR, the Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources, with 71.5% of that being principal forgiveness to not exceed $2,650,000, and then another clean water SRF loan was allocated of $250,350. And a $1,418,650 state American Rescue Plan Act funding, so the ARPA grant. So approximately 79% of this wastewater treatment facility project is being funded through grant and principal forgiveness. So after the second payment is submitted to GOED, to date, $60,484.22 for CDBG funds have been drawn. This leaves a remaining balance of $704,515.78 for the project costs, and $5,000 for administrative costs. So GOD pays for our administrative fees, so you don't pay for that. The second payment will be sent to GOD once the meeting is adjourned. So the purpose of this progress meeting is to discuss any concerns that the public may have of the wastewater treatment facility project. So if you don't have any comments tonight, public comment is for 30 days after this hearing, and then you can send any public comment to the City of Alcester's Finance Officer. And public comments will be received on or before July 20th of 2020.
Super. Any questions for her?
So do you oversee it at all or not, really? Nobody comes down from your office or anything?
No, we don't do inspections or anything like that.
I was just curious.
But GOED is gonna come down, right, Nadine?
Nadine, yeah.
She's gonna
Mhm.
come down
Yeah.
in July, I think.
Yes.
So,
Great. Well, that being said, I thank you, and
Thank you.
we'll move on to public input.
I have public input. A couple things. the change order, it would have been nice to have had a copy of that so that those of us in the gallery could look at it. I do want a copy. This emergency meeting that was held listed a bunch of folks, and it dealt with access to something. What came out of that meeting? What was that?
Well, that meeting was in regards to the sewer plant, the subcontractors, along with the fertilizer owners. And there was multiple issues kind of within each other, not getting along.
Oh, okay.
And there was a lot of arguing, the police were called, and we had to get everybody on the same page and hash it out.
Okay. Because some of these folks were showing up as providers and stuff, but it was mostly fertilizer.
It was the owners in particular, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
it. And
They were-
the general was here, and then the subcontractors. So Daryl with the main contractor, and then the two subcontractors we had.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I was noticing that when I looked up their addresses and stuff, they were all south of town and stuff.
Those would be the fertilizer
Yeah,
owners.
okay,
themselves.
okay.
Yep.
Let's see. I do have one. I mentioned one thing that I witnessed yesterday. I got behind a golf cart that was moving rather slowly, and understandably so. Mom was in the passenger side of the golf cart in the front, and what appeared to be a first grader or second grader was driving the cart. And I've confirmed that that's not an advisable thing, and I don't know if Mom realizes that child endangerment could be something, but we don't, and this happened on 6th Street. I'd been warned that this was happening in another part of town, and I hadn't seen it yet, but I managed to pull in behind and stuff, and I have my doubts on if something happened, because a car passed this golf cart. They were eastbound, and a car did pass it on 6th Street. And I'm thinking, holy buckets, because I watched it, and I'm thinking, it got close to the edge, and it wouldn't take much to tip it over the embankment and roll it. So I just wanted to make that notification. And, okay, last time I mentioned about information that the council should have for meetings and stuff, and accessibilities, keys and stuff. Has that been complied with and stuff? We need to make sure that the keys and access to the finance office or any other building, that the mayor has all the keys for access, or somebody on the council has all the keys for access. You have the right to ask for that and stuff. And I think that's everything I have at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other public input? If not, we'll move on to number 7, Police Department with Jared Thompson. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Harley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2, parentheses 1, personnel.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has passed. We are in executive session at 6:30 p.m. And with that being said, we are going to move on to number 9, planning and zoning fences.
Austin did provide an ordinance update, but it will be something that I have to put at a later agenda. I just got it last night.
Yep, Austin's got the ordinance ready to go, but under our planning and zoning ordinance that has all our zoning stuff in it, In order to consider it, vote on it, and pass it, we've got to notice that ordinance much in the same manner we notice the city ordinance on the city side 10 days prior to the hearing, and then we've got to actually post a sign that talks about what the ordinance is. I think it's got to have the ordinance text. But in any event, we would have time on the calendar as I looked at it to get this on for the next meeting. And Pat, we gotta double check, you and I can double check tomorrow. I don't know if the ordinance, there's something about publishing it. I don't know if it needs to be published in the paper, or if we can put it on our, do we have a website ready yet?
Yeah, that's up. I will check.
I'll figure out what we gotta do as far as posting.
Okay.
Well, if there's no other discussion, we're gonna move on to number 10. Community Center Golf Course, 10A, camera discussion. So what this is in regards to is, of course, we had the security system cameras put in, and everything went well, besides the guy that installed the cameras made one mistake, and the camera that was supposed to overlook the event side got put on the very east outer exterior wall, and it is overlooking the football field.
And that patio.
In the patio, of course. So we have two options. We can leave it where it's at and then add additional camera where it needs to go to overlook the event side of it. Or they will come back and move the exterior camera back to where it needs to go for no additional cost. So if they do add the additional camera, it would be $808.29. That's labor included. So that's what the discussion is. If there's any questions.
I don't think we need to pay $800 for their screw up and another camera. I say we have them bring it back to where it was.
I agree.
Me too.
Keep in mind, it is something where, it is located in a good spot. We do have a lot of activity on that east deck. I'm not saying anything would ever happen, but it would be a good surveillance area if something does go south on us.
So where is it supposed to be?
So right on the east side of the casino wall, right where the casino, the lottery machines are sitting. You walk through the doorway and it was supposed to be right about
So
facing
facing that.
the event side.
But there was not a camera originally planned for that location, correct?
That's where it was supposed to be.
That's where it was supposed to be.
Right, but where it was now.
No,
Correct.
No, it was, yeah.
but that's a pretty busy.
Is there a camera on the north side of the patio?
Yes,
Way to the west end.
northwest corner.
Can you see that whole patio side from that?
You can see the northwest, I would say more or less the north side of the building, but you cannot see anything to the east from that camera. Not saying we need the camera on the east side, so totally your call.
But Landon, wouldn't you say that the east side is sometimes busier than the other side?
Yeah, it's more shady over there.
Yeah. And that's where your big, there's a big door there. That's where your caterer comes in.
I don't think we need one in the event hall, do you?
There's no coverage on the main entrance door on the event side though. So that camera would cover that door. Not saying anything is gonna happen. I mean, because we do have the view on the, outside to the parking lot, so I mean, that would be good coverage. And we can leave it where it's at, leave it as is, and go with it, and that's fine too. So I mean, it was, the guy that drew up the blueprint did it right, just the guy that installed it read the blueprint incorrect.
So Landon, what are your thoughts? Keep the one outside or have them move it back inside?
Keep it outside and be done.
Okay,
Don't spend the 800 and put one in the event hall. But,
there we go.
I would agree with
but
that. If there's
council-
coverage on that door from outside, so you could see if somebody was breaking in or something.
Could we see the front door
From the east camera? Well, you can't see the south door.
No, that's, see, that one might be more in public view than the side door. Yeah.
And then if someone does break in, once they're in the building, there's nothing in the event hall that would be of interest to them. They would go to the other vendors.
Yeah. Cameras are very good. I mean, you can see if there's a dirty knife in the kitchen. Right?
That's correct.
You can pull it up and you can tell exactly, I mean,
They did a nice job.
it's very good.
Well, leave it as it is. Agreed?
Yeah.
We'll move on to 10B, motion to approve modifying the camera system. We do not need that. 10C, clubhouse hours open for business versus honor system. You want to talk about that, Landon?
well, I think in front of you guys, the packets of our Monday sales. I mean, right now, I think we haven't lost money on a couple Mondays.
So some interesting things are happening, and I did try to give you as much information as I could so that you could feel comfortable with whatever decision you decide. First of all, we go with this one that is horizontal. This one is a comparison of, and I did the Mondays from May 1st through June 19th. And this is a comparison of the same Monday from the previous year. And there's 8 Mondays in question, and of those 8 Mondays, only 2 of them where the sales are less than last year. So there, you'll see that it is kind of a significant increase from this year to last year. I'm also not exactly sure, I mean, it's a wonderful problem. Every year I buy 250 golf membership tags, and this year we're already up to 230 memberships. So our membership is growing. And so that does help explain why these particular 8 Mondays are showing an increase in sales over the previous year. The other one shows you the category sales. And I wanted you to see that so that you could see a breakdown. Is it just membership that's making the difference? Is it some food that's making the difference? Or, you know, what is it? So that gives you a breakdown of what it is we're selling and the dollar amount for each of those particular Mondays. And then the last spreadsheet is the spreadsheet that Landon does every day, which is a daily profit and loss on Mondays. And looking at those same 8 Mondays and looking at our variable expenses versus our fixed expenses, we are still showing a profit of the $23 for those 8 Mondays. So even though the sales are not super high on Monday, it's definitely our slowest day of the week, they are still holding their own.
I was thinking maybe we should stay open until August.
I think you need to stay open till Labor Day Monday, because our holiday Mondays are good. And then that would be my recommendation too, is after Labor Day Monday, then not be open on Mondays. Because golf really falls off after
Once
after
August
Labor Day.
hits, goes downhill.
And we had a good Sunday, right? This past Sunday.
Yeah, phenomenal.
We had a good weekend, period.
Yes, Saturday was crazy busy. I mean, so many diners, they had to.
For you guys who don't know, on Mondays, the restaurant is closed.
Yeah.
But starting this summer, they are having pizzas and fry food. So whoever is a golf course attendant does cook that. Sunday, they had a really good, Father's Day, they had a really good day. Mike was busy. So we made a rate change last time that anybody who is in charge for the day, no matter who it is, they get $13.50 an hour. Well, Landon and Kelsey have both said they will take $13.50 an hour, so they're taking a cut themselves to try to save money, which is pretty nice of them. And it also would also go to Mike, who usually gets more to cook. And he only gets $13.50 an hour on that day. So, but the Callie Reed, who is a golf course attendant on Monday, does not want to cook. So, just pizzas?
Yep.
Is that right? So, if we do keep doing this, we do, Rhonda would do Mondays and cook the fried food and the pizza. Am I hearing this right, Landon?
Yes.
So, but then I don't know if Callie would work it off, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's how this all came about. And one of the things we talked about in the golf course meeting with the golf course people was putting a box out that on Mondays, it'd be the honor system. They could just put the money in the box. That isn't up yet. So, I don't know. It's nice to have somebody there.
And the bar is open.
And the bar is open.
Downtown's closed on Mondays,
Yeah.
so that's another thought.
So, what's you guys thought? Stay open and,
I say we stay open.
Would Callie work any other day? No other day during the week either?
oh, it'd still be the same issue. She won't cook.
But any other day of the week, we have a cook on staff,
Oh, okay.
like a Saturday.
Well, I say we stay open and the person that's gonna work and do the most. I mean, you can't stay open if somebody is, I mean, I guess you could, but, I just find it more feasible to have a person there that's actually gonna make us more money.
Well, we've definitely heard very good comments about everything up there. They say the golf course looks the best it's looked in years. So, that's good. And you said there was 4 people there today from Yankton?
Yankton. They really complimented on the building and really thought the course looked good.
Rick Shaw got positive comments when we went over to Ridges. They were, some people that were Beersford members are no longer Beersford members, but they're members over here.
And we do have to thank Lonnie too, because he's picked it up a lot to Cape without a golf course person, so.
My opinion, I'd keep the doors open. I'd stay open on Monday for right now. When it slows
Okay.
down, we can
Yeah.
discuss it at that point.
I'd say just keep them track. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
And I think we ought to definitely make people aware of the fact that they can get some fried food, can get a little something up there if they want it
On Mondays.
on
Yeah.
Mondays. There's a lot of people that think you can't get anything up there.
Nothing in town, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
Is that something you could put on the Facebook, Landon, just to make sure that it's known that Mondays are a limited menu, what the limited menu is?
Yep, I can do that.
Well, no other discussion on that. We can move on. Thank you, Landon.
Oh, was the
What's that?
note, sorry, was the note ever put on the sign-in sheet for the, slow-moving vehicle.
What's that?
Did we not discuss that last time? For the slow-moving vehicle that, or for the golf course that have to have the sign on
We
the
have
back?
the signs up there.
That they'll have to have it by a certain date?
Thought it was yesterday I had that
We
one.
put it in the paper.
Yeah.
And you have the
It was-
slow-moving signs at the clubhouse as
Yep.
well.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
All right, we'll move on. Number 11, back to the camera quotes. This discussion and review on the camera quote is for the city hall and pool. I know multiple times we discussed, way back when I got on the council, about having some kind of coverage for issues when we have somebody very hot-headed come through this door. We need to have some type of coverage to just protect ourselves for a lot of liability issues that could happen. So we do have a quote on that. And then we have a quote on the swimming pool. We have quite a few issues arising already at the pool. I don't know what Abigail has, I mean, have you had any complaints personally?
Not that I've gotten directly. I know Darla's heard some. We did have a meeting with the guards last week to talk about some things and basically just say, look, if you're having issues and you're having trouble dealing with them, call Darla, call me. We have no problem being mean to kids who are causing problems. But it's a lot of particularly young boys who like to cause problems. Same issues we were having last year.
Well, I guess I've had probably four calls on it myself. I don't know how to control young boys running through the girls' locker room when they're changing.
Nope.
We don't need a camera in the locker room, but we have to stop this. We gotta control. I mean, you look on the news, it's all over. A lot of people are having swimming pool issues. We have to get this under control. And these kids that are doing it, they're gonna have to get kicked out. I mean, that's just my opinion.
It's happened in St. Petersburg, I'll just say, incidents that reverted to getting their camera coverage to find out where the root of the problem was. They had 4 days they had to shut down. And it was a camera that helped solve the problem. I don't know.
So
No.
were those boys punished?
Can't put names on them because we, you know, of course, the call, I
The
can't.
lifeguard said they did not see it, and a parent told me they did not see it. But we have two people that have said, and one of them, I would say they matched identically.
Correct.
So I think it happened. And
Then I say yeah.
Well, I would,
I don't know what we're gonna do.
besides the 4 complaints, the one was my daughter changing. So it came firsthand. My daughter came home, first thing she told my wife, hey, there was some boys running through the locker room when we were changing.
We're having trouble with them. Well, we did the issue with jumping off the chair. I point blank told the lifeguards, that's an insurance issue. They can't be going off the chair during pool hours. And also, we talked to them about, it doesn't matter if they're in the water. If they're around the water, in that fence, they're still your responsibility. And they I think, understood that. We said there needs to be a guard in each chair. The city is paying you to be in the chairs. Not, even if there's 6 swimmers, it's still your responsibility. But then the other issue we talked about was the wading pool, because they think they can just go in there when it's pool break. And I was in there with my grandkids last week, and they were having an ice cream cone, and 3 boys, it was pool break, they were, I would say, in the 8 to 10-year-old range, came out and said, let's go in the little pool. And I said, no, you're not. I was crabbing. And I said, you're not old enough, or you're too old. And they said to me, you're not the boss of me. That's what they said. And I said, yes, I am. And they said the lifeguard is. I says, well, guess what? I work for the city and I pay their paycheck. So I am the boss of the lifeguards. They were so sassy. And they just looked at me after I said that.
There was girls doing it too, my mom told me when she brought my kids there, so.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah. So we made signs today.
Last
I mean,
night it
I don't
happened.
have an issue with them sitting on the edge. You know, some have younger siblings and they go in, but it's,
Oh no, they're like dumping water on my 1-year-old. So.
they were, you had that issue too. Yep.
This was going on last night as well.
Yep, it was. We
I
brought
know.
Adel into the pool, and pool break, all these kids were in the baby pool.
I know this week is a struggle. All of our regular guards, besides Evan Brown, are at Camp Judson. So he's basically the one in charge and he's brand new to this. And I mean, my sister, this is her first week actually working there. And Maddie Haig has come back to help us. So
And
I'm
even
not
the
making
lifeguard
excuses
said
for.
they don't listen. They just
They
say
don't
to them, they don't
respect-
listen to them.
They don't respect the new guards. They don't listen to anybody.
Well, I say start suspending people if you,
Yeah, they all signed that.
Yeah, they all got that.
I have permission to speak.
Go ahead.
One thing about cameras, be very, very careful. If you put cameras in, the cameras have to stay outside of the changing area.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be in hot water.
So,
Or you could put some big ugly woman like me in and in a bikini, and that'll stop them.
Sorry, Vicky, we're not gonna pay you to be a swimsuit model.
Oh, I'd do it for free.
all right. So the two cameras at the pool, thank you, Vicky, for your input there. The one camera would be exterior, it would be on a riser, kind of overlooking the big pool and the small pool. And then the other camera would be right in, the entrance going into the pool or the pool house, right directly just before you go out the door, it would be right there. So, of course, it would not have any coverage of inside the locker rooms, but who's coming out. So anyone that would want to
Or would
enter.
they pay for stuff? Wonder- you
Yeah,
show
oh
that,
yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we would have the coverage that we would need to see who's doing that in and out of the locker rooms, and we'd have the coverage of saying, well, on pool break, we have these kids going to the baby pool. So we'd have that coverage as well. The two cameras, what we'd have is, it would be a site to site. So we would put a module over on the clubhouse and a module over on the swimming pool. And we do a site to site. We would not have a DVR, nothing in at the pool house. It would all operate off the Morningside Event Center system. It works very well. I don't have no complaints. I have that on my two buildings and it works great. I think it would work great in our situation. It would save us some money not having to add all that additional stuff in the pool house. So we have the two quotes right in front of us.
It's not cheap though.
No, it is not.
And the pool already, we lose money. So,
Pool is the individual one, this one is the board estimate number.
Correct, that would be the pool itself.
what do you think?
So the one, so we get it out to the public here, you know, the one at the swimming pool is gonna be $4,697, or $97.16. That's two cameras included in labor also. And then if we do put the security system here in the city hall, two cameras would be $2,947.03. If we did the three camera coverage, it'd be $3,543.02.
On the pool cameras, is that one gonna be covering the entrance or the exit to the pool, I guess?
It would be mounted inside, right, dang near right when you come out of the locker rooms. So it'd be right directly in the hallway, or you know, the entrance, if you walked straight on through and you looked up, it would be right,
So like right above the front desk,
I think,
or facing the other direction?
facing more to the south, if I recall.
Okay.
So I mean, it would be more of a 3D where it's going to be facing south straight out the door, and it's also going to, you know, have the coverage, who's coming in and who's coming out in and out of the locker rooms as well.
So it'll cover both the entrance and the exit,
Correct.
both locker rooms?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Could you repeat those figures again, please?
Which, just
The-
at the swimming pool?
At the swimming pool?
So the swimming pool is $4,697.16.
Okay.
But those have to come down in winter.
No.
They wouldn't.
And if you want time to think about it, we can go that route too.
So at the pool though, it goes off at the event center?
Yeah, there's one, what do you say, one
One more pool.
slot that we could take, use that, we're close enough. That's cool.
It's a 10-channel DVR type of remote that's there, and I think there's one more port left. What he was saying.
So does that mean we wouldn't be able to add any more to the morning side? If we did?
Not without changing the remote and going to like a 15-channel or something like that. It's gonna be a lot of he said, she said type of thing until we have it in front of us on camera. So,
I definitely think that we need something covered.
I know my
There's
kids
a-
had that, my daughter had that problem at school this past year, so it'd be nice to get in front of that. Alright, so what do we got with the 2-camera and the 3-camera system for the,
so I think the 2-camera, what he was kind of talking about is he would have a camera, I think over in that corner above the cabinet, and it would I would think, is that what he said, Darla? Brett
Yeah.
said that he would put it above that cabinet, and it would kind of have everything covered, you know, if we had a council meeting or whatever, you know,
And then one in the hallway.
and then the third one would be over in that corner because we would have one blind spot. So we don't have to do 3, we could just do 2 just to have the coverage if something went south, you know?
Can they put it in that corner so it sees everything this way?
If that's what we prefer.
Well, then
I
there
would,
wouldn't be a
because that would-
blind spot
yeah.
then, right?
Or would that make a blind spot over that way, then would there be a blind spot?
Or would it be this corner?
I think he was wanting to put it in that corner, so if you had somebody that came in the front door and like it would protect, I mean, the biggest thing we have to protect is our employees. And so Abigail would be covered, Pat would be covered, and that would be the best view is from that corner is what his opinion was.
Just because that would be too far away?
I don't know that question for sure.
yeah, 'cause I'm with you, I think it would make more sense to
Yeah.
see from there, because if you're in that
Because that
corner,
would
then
see
you,
the door.
yeah.
They're gonna ask her.
But it might be because it's too far.
Do they have to be in a corner, or can they be a ceiling mount? Because maybe you could do a ceiling mount and be able to see the whole room, even the front door.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
a
ask.
question.
Because then you could eliminate one camera because of one dark spot.
And the other one would be out in the hallway, so as soon as we'd have coverage from both ways in the hall, you know, anyone that would come from the west hallway and the east, and then the south entrance. So that was his opinion for having that camera, the purpose of it in the hallway.
Well, because we do have a lot of people in and out even when the office is closed.
Correct.
What would money look like in those situations?
The pool, never makes money.
No, they're,
So we need to have to supplement that. I think we're early enough in my budget that we can.
And if you would like, we could just do something only on the pool, and nothing here until we talk to
I
them.
would like to know about assuming that one, because that would make the most sense in here, and then the one out there. But I'm good for this, because the sooner we get going on that, the sooner those little boogers.
Well, last year, we had that incident where we had some kids coming up out of the water and their drawers were at their ankles, so, So, I don't need, and then also, I had a parent call me on Friday after swimming lessons. I don't know if the kid was 10 or 12 years old, but they stepped out of the swimming pool and started vaping right at the park. So, we have quite a few issues.
I think the guards would feel more confident making suspensions if there were cameras to back them up.
Yeah.
Oh, correct.
Because right now, if they send a kid home, mom comes over and says, what proof do you have that my kid did that? It's just them saying they saw it.
Yep.
And maybe another parent or two.
It's a big liability type of thing,
Like
Good
I talked to
investment.
the lifeguards too, they said, we're not gonna let anybody drown, and I said, I know that, and I hope no one ever does drown. But when you're dealing with these ones down in the corner that aren't listening, you're not watching the other end.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just, that's any of us would be in that.
Yeah.
And I said, someone could drown, and we don't want that to happen, that's a bigger liability. I just saw today on Facebook, some smaller town around where a 5-year-old was found unresponsive in the bottom of the pool. And it made me, kind of gave me chills, because I don't want that to ever happen here.
Well, what would you like to do?
I'm good for the pool right now, but I would like more information about the ones here. I mean, see if there's a cost difference with the different cameras.
You would do a supplement at the end of the year. It would probably come out a second penny.
So, any other discussion on the pool side of it? Otherwise, I need a motion to spend $4,697.16 to safe and secure for 2 cameras at the pool.
How soon do you think you can do this?
I would say you would have to, 2 to 3 weeks.
It
Like what
would
he
be
did.
still in swimming lesson
Oh, yeah.
time.
Yep.
I mean, I don't want to vote for it and then it comes in October.
Yep. Yep.
He's been pretty good. I'll make a motion to approve spending $4,697.16 for 2 cameras at the Alcester swimming pool.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has passed. We'll move on to number 12, legal updates with Sam.
I don't have anything other than what we've already discussed.
Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to number 13, old clubhouse discussion. This has been a subject off and on. Multiple people, I won't say multiple, but there has been a fair amount of people that have asked about it. We've had somebody inquire on buying it and bringing a business to town. A few people have called and would like to make a house out of it. Darla's had a few people call, I guess. So we need to discuss what we would like to do with it. If we would like to remodel it and do something with it ourselves, or if we would like to offer it as surplus, parcel it off. It is zoned commercial, which is fine if we have a business come to town, but if it would be, a surplus as residential, we'd have to plot, have it zoned, plotted off and then zoned residential. So,
If it was a business, does it have to be plotted out?
You may need to, I think,
Just so you know.
well, and it's been a long time since I've looked, but I think it is not a separate parcel from the rest of the golf course. I don't think it's a separate lot or anything like that, so it's probably, whatever you're gonna do with it, if it goes to somebody else, it's a problem.
and there is the main Lincoln Rural Water line that is running through that parking lot, just to the, west, and goes to the east, and then heads just on the west side of the clubhouse, our new clubhouse, going to the water tower. So we would have to have an easement to that water line. And then, of course, it'd be a shared driveway with an easement.
Can the gallery comment on that issue?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would recommend, I really would, that the city maintain ownership. Just have them either pick the house up or the building up and remove it, but you can keep it for the city's use. Because you do have the water issue. You do have a shared road, and sharing a road can be a real pain in the neck. And I think would be in the best interest of the city. The one thing the city could do, if there's room, is maybe put a small camping area in there and consider that. But I really wouldn't sell it off or parcel it off or sell it off. I would discourage that move. I don't think it would be, I think it would cause more problems than it would solve.
Appreciate your input.
Hit with balls a lot. I don't know which direction we golf on
When the metal building was there, that metal building would get hit with balls, but the clubhouse itself has not been hit.
the old clubhouse. The old clubhouse?
But there was a shed just east of that, and that would get hit all the time. Now, does that mean with that shed being gone, does that mean that Alpers might hit that building? It's possible.
I'm just curious because my mom was across the street and there's so many golf balls all the time. So.
She has golf balls in her yard.
Oh, we last weekend in 5 picked up a bucket.
Oh my gosh. That's really missing the boat there.
You go to the county state parks and that, and they have these little things buildings that you can camp in.
Cabins.
Yeah, I know, Haywarden just got done with a couple that they've added, really nice. I've often thought, well, we have an event center, but we have no place for people to stay if they want to stay overnight. I think spring through the fall, you probably, on the weekends for sure, would have people interested in it and people coming to town for a vacation. And it'd be nice. I got a couple of those. I don't know how we come up with the funds for it, but
Yeah, I think we should keep it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Myself, I think if the city keeps it, which I think it would be wise to do it, but we need to look into fixing the building up. In my opinion, it's an eyesore, it needs to be cited, and we need to, there's a sewer issue, correct?
Yep.
So we need the floor jackhammered out, and we just start getting some quotes and start trying to fix it up. And then I would say we should put living quarters in it and make it an Airbnb or a place to stay out of it.
That would be,
And then to the
That's
north
what
of that, we
everybody
could put
does
some
now.
a couple of camping spots with hookups. They don't have to be full hookup, but it'd be a place to stay, and I even thought we'd put some little cabins throughout the park. People could walk, swim, they got the park, they got the clubhouse, nice close walking distance to the event center. We could put a few of those throughout the park.
I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried to rent one of those cabins, but you have to plan like a year ahead.
oh yeah.
That's anywhere around here.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
So we don't have to do anything with it. We'd like to keep it. We just need to look in the direction of getting it fixed up and do something with it. So, any other discussion on it? All
Will there
right.
be any grants available or anything like that?
The only one that I could think of that would offer something would be GF&P. Game Fish and Parks might have some sort of a matching grant. I don't know. That would be the only thing that I could think of right
Yeah,
now.
I tried to look and that's
other-
who the only one
The other cool thing is if we decide whether it's cabins and we take the building down or it's redo the building, our guys can do a lot of work in the winter months. Especially demoing. But it's just a thought.
It could maybe become a community project. I mean, we might have other people that would be willing to help.
Yeah.
Well, no other discussion on it. We'll move on to number 14, mowing bill discussion.
So I had a upset citizen call me and said, I'm gonna send the city a bill because you guys didn't mow this lot at 505 Alcester. And I said, well, you never got permission to mow the lawn. And you never called to let us know that it was an issue. So you can bring me the bill, but there's no guarantee that it will get paid. So this individual did bring the bill. The time frame of this was the lot did not get mowed prior to Memorial Day weekend. And said citizen mowed it on his own.
What was the lot?
City,
Yeah. Was it out of regs with like an ordinance or something, or did you just feel it was too long?
I don't have documentation of the height of the grass, but I'm going to say that it was probably not, because grass probably hadn't grown a lot by that time frame. And it was a bare lot last year, so, but anyway.
Mayor, council, just regardless of whether or not it was within or without the height, it's the city's property, it's the city's responsibility. Legally, I don't know of any authority that says a citizen can go out, maintain the city's property and send them a bill. I understand the gentleman frustrated, maybe rightly so, but you get into a real bad spot if you start paying people with city money to do things when they think it ought to be done.
That's kind of how I felt too, but
I would recommend that you not pay this, and if an individual is concerned, you can certainly refer to me, and I can kind of talk them through why we're not legally going to do this.
thank you.
Any other discussion on that?
Did he say why he didn't call?
Yeah, that's
Just
what I
like
was.
let us
No,
know?
and that's what I said to him. I said, you never called our office. You never let any of us know that it was bothering you. And I'm sure it got mowed that next week because it's on our circuit of mowing. So he was just mad.
We'll move on to number 15, fire school sponsorship. In the past, Pat Cast, the fire chief here in town, came to the council and he had asked if the city would be willing to sponsor the guys and gals that would go to fire school each year for training, different classes that they can take to just get more knowledgeable on situations that we deal with. And so in the past, the city has sponsored $1,000. And this year we had 10 guys and gals that went to fire school up to Watertown. And they all took class and they all took time off work to go do this, to provide their service for the community. And so we want to thank those guys. thankless job, but that's what this $1,000 sponsorship is to the Alcester Fire Department for fire school. So if you'd like the,
Anyway, isn't it? Don't we budget that in?
We do. We never know, like last year, no one attended, so last year we did not sponsor anyone to attend fire school. But
I'll make a motion to approve $1,000 sponsorship to Alcester Fire Department for fire school attendees.
I'll second it.
any other discussion?
Can we get the fire department to a meeting sometime?
Okay.
Have Pat here and, you know, if we're sponsoring them, you know, say thanks to the fire department.
Sure. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We'll move on to number 16, finance updates with that.
Finance officer school and HR school was really good. I shared a lot of the handouts with you, so sometime if you're curious, you can look through them. They had some really good speakers, really good topics that were addressed. While we were gone, some issues came up. Number one, Lauren Fisher is no longer going to accept payments at our office. We used to offer that as a service. People could drop their payments off, and then once a month, Lauren Fisher would come and pick them up. It's just not convenient for Lauren to come and get them, and then people were getting late charges on their accounts, and so Lauren just made the decision, water bills, or garbage bills can no longer be dropped off to here. The other thing that Lauren wanted me to share with you is because the 4th of July is on a Tuesday, which is the normal day that he comes to pick up, none of the landfills in our area are open on Tuesday, so he has no place to dump. So what he's going to do is he's going to do consumer garbage pickup on Monday, the 3rd. So you'll want to get your cans out on Monday or Sunday night. If you are a business and you have a dumpster, that will be picked up on Tuesday. But that really doesn't involve you doing anything. He'll just come through town and get it. So
Is that posted on our website?
I just found that out today. So yes, it will go on the website. We'll probably put something out on Facebook too for the street. And then also in your packet, the elected officials workshop is in July in Pier. It's a 1 day, it's a full day. I mean, it starts at 9 o'clock and it goes till 3:30. Some of the topics that were discussed for finance officer school, a lot of the same speakers are going to be coming from the elected official side. So if you guys are, if anyone is interested in attending, the cost is $50. You just need to let me know before July 11th, and I will get you signed up.
And for the new people, I went to it. It is really informative.
Super. Is that all?
Yes.
I want to add to the trash cans. I know we were just talking about that. Anyone that watches Vicky's blog, if you want to post something on the city website, when the garbage truck is done picking up your garbage, I'd like the cans off the street. There's no reason the cans are on the street for year round, yeah. So, and then, I kind of been scoping out, I followed the garbage truck, garbage truck about 2 weeks ago for about an hour. I would not accept all the trees hit my equipment. I would not. So the people that have these trees that are 8 feet off the ground from the curb up, they need to be cut. Because that side of that truck just kept getting rubbed on and rubbed on and rubbed on. So I'm just saying, I want to put that out there because we got on this subject. That's all I have on that anyway.
What enforces that?
The trees?
Yeah, to check.
So mainly, I think in the past, Lonnie would go around with a pole mounted on something, and then he would make notes on what trees are low.
What is the foot?
14.
14?
Yeah.
Okay, confirm with that for
I
14.
feel like we have to let people know, because I would never know how tall my trees are.
14 feet over a street and 10 feet over a sidewalk. So,
So, we'll move on, monthly spot checks, performance review, full year, half year. Abigail, her full year is it taken care of?
No, I still have it, I just have
Okay.
to set up a time to meet.
No worries. And then the monthly spot checks, there's a few months that are ready to go. And then reminders and updates, city council meeting will be July 6th at 2023 at 6 p.m. And that's all we have.
I had a question for you, Pat. Did you get the city email set up yet?
I have it started. After a full school, I took a week of vacation, so I just came back Monday.
Okay, does that take a long time, or could
No,
it be done relatively?
It does not. I have the list, and yeah, we can just get that going.
So by like next meeting, it could be done?
I will try. I can't guarantee that, but I will try.
Thank you.
Anything else on that behalf? Okay, we'll move on to number 17, executive session. Does anyone need executive session?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 12521. It's personnel.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We're going into executive session at 6:39 p.m. 7:39 p.m., excuse me. Wish.
And I think we just add it out, I think. You're so sassy.
Have them send my kids down there.
That's right.
I had some kids tell me that one day when they were bullying somebody, and I walked there and started, and they go, you can't tell me what to do. And I go, I'm gonna go tell your parents what you did. And they go, you don't know where I live. And I go, oh, yes, I do.
Yeah.
All right, we are out of executive session at 8:23 p.m. And I will need a motion to adjourn council.
Make a motion to adjourn council.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We adjourned at 8:23 p.m.